So let's go ahead and look at what we're going to be working with today. Just a quick recap though. Last week we worked with color, specifically the color wheel, and we learned all about primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. Now these are very important for the element of art color because they are also the base of everything else that color involves. So today we're going to go ahead and look at color schemes. But let's go ahead and just do a quick review of what you need to do for this activity. Always remember to be in work mode. Always remember that drag and drop feature is available when it needs to be. And to make sure that you type in any boxes that you need to type a response in, please make sure you type a response in there. And if there's anything you need to drag and drop, place it where you need to. Now, again, a question that you may ask yourself is, well, how do I know this is a slide I need to work on? Just remember that that rainbow right there indicates if that is your slide that you need to go ahead and work on. If the rainbow is not there, there's very important information that you need to read in that slide. Let's go ahead and begin. Color schemes. Now, I hope this looks familiar. Of course, this is your color wheel, and this is our recap. A color wheel is a tool that we know that artists use to help them make choices about color. And it also helps them because it allows them to see the relationships between these colors. Okay, so why did we learn about the color wheel? Let's go a little more into depth. We know that our primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. Our secondary colors are orange, purple, and green. And our tertiary colors are red-orange, red-violet, blue-violet, blue-green, yellow-green, and yellow-orange. So now, what we're working with this week, a color scheme is a group of colors that are purposefully put together. So we've already learned about two major color schemes, which are primary and secondary colors. So let's go ahead and learn some more. Complementary colors. Complementary colors are a group of color pairs that sit across from each other on the color wheel. As it shows here, they sit across from each other. Okay. They are considered opposites and they create a lot on contrast when they're placed next to each other. Okay, let's look at these two familiar colors. Remind me of a specific holiday that's coming up, and that is Christmas, right? And red sits across from green on the color wheel, so they are considered a complementary colored pair. So let's go ahead and look at this. It says drag and drop the arrows below onto the color wheel to match together the other two complementary color pairs. So we know that complementary colors sit across from each other. Let's go ahead and take these arrows and place them where they need to be. Now this is something tricky, okay? Let's look at this here. Sitting across from each other doesn't mean that they're sitting right next to each other. That's something we're going to look at right now. But these are sitting across from each other, okay? And I'd leave my arrows there since this is my interactive slide. So let's go to the next one. Let's see. A lot of sports teams use complementary colors in their logos because of how bright complementary colors look when they're next to each other, right? They contrast very much, okay? So this is my job here. So it says drag and drop the complementary color pairs next to each logo below. So go ahead and look at what we have here and place the colors paired with each other, just how they're shown here, okay? So you'd go ahead and place your pair together, okay? And you'd go ahead and complete that for the rest of the slide. This next slide is talking about warm colors. So we've learned about complementary colors. Let's look at warm colors. So warm colors are primarily made up of the hues red, orange, and yellow, and all these colors in between, okay? So warm colors are vivid and energetic, and they tend to advance in space, okay? They tend to advance in space. So our job here is to go ahead and select the image that you think best represents a warm color scheme and drop it off in the box below. So go ahead and make your selection as to which one represents a warm colored scheme. Okay, be very careful, okay, and which one you select, but make sure that it represents all of the colors in the warm colored scheme, okay? Now next we have cool colors. So this is the opposite of warm colors, okay? So cool colors are primarily made up of hues like green, blue, and purple, and all of those colors in between, okay? Cool colors are very laid back, calm, and appear to recede. So that means they go backwards into space, okay? So they make it seem very kind of calm, right? Like it said. So your job here, just like in the other slide, is to go ahead and select the photo that best represents, okay, that best represents cool color schemes. So we know that it needs to have green, blue, and purple. Okay, so make your selections and drag and drop it in this box below. Okay. The next slide, we have analogous colors. Analogous colors can be made up of different sets of colors, but they must sit next to each other on the color wheel. Remember when I mentioned that earlier? They must sit next to each other on the color wheel. For example, red, red-violet, violet, and blue-violet could be an analogous color scheme since they're next to each other. Analogous colors are often grouped together in artwork because they flow well together. Since they're so closely related, they're harmonious. So that means that they work with each other very well. Okay, so let's look at this slide here. Okay, so we've learned about complementary, warm colored colors, cool colors, and analogous colors. So let's look at what this activity wants us to do. Analogous colors. Using the color wheel as a guide. So we're using this as a guide because remember, that's what it's for. This is a tool that artists use. You're an artist. So let's go ahead and look at this. So using the color wheel as a guide, create another example of an analogous color scheme in the space below. Let's pretend I don't remember exactly what analogous colors means. Let's go ahead and get a hint again. All right. Okay. So analogous colors can be made of different sets of colors, but they must sit next to each other. Okay, I got it. And I'm going to use my color wheel. That is my tool. So I'm going to go ahead and look and see. So I'm going to put some colors here down below. That'll be an analogous color set. Okay. All right. I'm going to give you an example. We have, all right. We have yellow, right? And then I have yellow-orange right next to it. And let's pretend I wanted blue-violet. Whoa. All right. Is that an analogous color? Is that sitting directly next to the color that I just chose, which is yellow-orange? No. Okay. So that would void it. That would not be an analogous color scheme anymore. That'll be something different. Probably complementary, right? But I want something analogous, something right next to yellow-orange, which is orange, okay? And then right next to orange is red-orange, okay? And that will be my color scheme, okay? So you choose your own color scheme that you would like to show me, okay? As long as it is analogous. Analogous means right next to each other. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this. A monochromatic color scheme is made up of different tints, shades, and variations from the same hue. Remember tints and shades? We covered that in reading color, but we covered it in value, right? We covered tints and shades and value. Okay, we know a tint is made by adding white and a shade is made by adding black. Okay, so let's look at this, what this slide says. So it's showing you it's all different variations of the same hue, which is the same color. So we have green, all right? We have green, it starts off with green and then we add black or we add white to it, right? And it gets lighter or darker. That's what monochromatic means, just one color, okay? If you want a hint as to how do you know that it only involves one color? Mono is one, okay? Monochromatic. All right, neutral colors. Neutral colors don't appear on the color wheel, okay? These are earthy colors. These are colors that you'd see that some might say these are very bland colors, but these are very natural colors, okay? They're neutral, right? They're not bright and they're not dark. They're just there in between, right? They're colors like white, black, gray, and brown. These colors are very muted and earthy, and they're not bright and exciting. So let's look at this. All right, this is my color scheme challenge. So now that we've gone over some major color schemes, let's test what you know, all right? So use the word bank, which is right over here, to help you type. You're going to type, okay? This is important. Type in the correct color scheme into each box below. Okay, pay attention to the word type. You're not dragging and dropping anything. You're typing, okay? So let's go ahead. I'm going to use my word bank to help me though, okay? All right, I'm going to do an example. I'm not going to do all of them. I'll do the first one, okay? The first one is, let me look at my word bank, primary colors. So I'm going to go ahead and type that there. Primary colors. And there we go. And I've typed it in. There's my primary colors. I leave my response there so I am able to show it, right? And that's what I'll continue doing, okay? Let's count how many boxes we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have 6 boxes, okay? And look at how many terms we have. That means you may or may not use all these terms, okay? So just make note of that, all right? And then that is it. That concludes our color scheme presentation. Make sure that you go ahead and you turn in your work on Google Classroom like always. And going off of that, make sure that you post your exit ticket responses at each day that I post your exit ticket. Remember, you have 2 exit tickets to answer for the week, along with your assignment of the week. So that's 3 things total that you need to work on. Okay, remember the exit tickets take about anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes to answer. And your project you should be working on throughout the week. Don't leave it until the very end of the week. Try and work on it in little bits and pieces when you have that time that is supposed to be dedicated to art for the day. Okay, so go ahead and remember to do all that. And I want you all to have a wonderful week, okay? We'll see you. Bye.